Aurangzeb's death in 1707 left the Mughal Empire at its largest territorial extent. Yet it was weakened and exhausted. Decades of relentless military campaigns drained the treasury, left provincial governors emboldened, and created a power vacuum in the heart of the empire. His successors inherited a kingdom full of rebellions, court intrigue, and ambition-driven nobles, where loyalty was fleeting and trust was a dangerous gamble. The Mughal throne, once a symbol of unchallenged authority, now became a battleground of cunning and cruelty. Brothers and nephews would vie for control. Nobles manipulated emperors like chess pieces, and even the emperor himself could be powerless in the face of political scheming. The empire's structure, built over a century by Babur, Humayun, Akbar, and Shah Jahan, now teetered on the edge of collapse. This era is a stark reminder that power is fragile. Ambition, when unchecked by wisdom and loyalty, can corrode even the mightiest dynasty. The narrative sets the stage for a story of human struggle, rulers balancing ambition with reality, authority against rebellion, and legacy against mortality. The Mughal Empire's decline is not just about kings and battles, it as about the perilous human cost of ruling an empire. King Bahadur Shah I, 1707 to 1712, the consolidator Bahadur Shah I, also known as Shah Alam I, was Aurangzeb's son, inheriting a fractured empire. From the moment Aurangzeb died, he faced bloody succession wars against his brothers, all claiming the throne. Victory came through strategy and alliances, but the scars of civil war remained. Once Emperor Bahadur Shah I attempted to restore stability. He balanced religious factions, reconciled rebellious nobles, and tried to secure loyalty from provincial governors. However, centuries of centralized authority were beginning to crumble. The distant provinces, long under semi-autonomous governors, saw opportunity in the transition of power. His reign was also challenged by Sikh uprisings and Rajput revolts, testing his military and diplomatic skills. While his efforts were moderately successful in consolidating power, the challenges revealed the limits of even a capable ruler. Bahadur Shah I's reign embodies the human struggle of leadership, the relentless balancing act between ambition and reality, authority and rebellion. Despite his efforts, the empire was weakened from within, setting a precedent for short, unstable reigns that followed. The grandeur of the Mughal throne was still present, but the cracks were widening, exposing vulnerabilities that his successors would inherit. King Jahandar Shah 1712-1713, the weak pawn. Jahandar Shah, grandson of Aurangzeb, ascended the throne after Bahadur Shah I's death but ruled for less than a year. His reign was dominated by favorites and courtiers, particularly Zulfikar Khan, who effectively controlled the administration. Jahandar Shah was more figurehead than emperor, indulging in pleasures while the empire's true governance lay in the hands of manipulative nobles. The court became a hotbed of intrigue and corruption, with ambitious ministers exploiting the emperor's weaknesses. Jahandar Shah's inability to assert authority led to chaos, opportunistic revolts, and eroded loyalty. Eventually, he was overthrown and executed by his nephew, Farrukhsiyar, demonstrating that unchecked ambition without wisdom is a fast track to destruction. This short, disastrous reign highlights the peril of weak leadership in a fragile empire. The narrative emphasizes suspense and internal struggle, a ruler trapped by his own inadequacies, courtiers wielding real power, and the ever-present danger of betrayal. King Farrukhsiyar 1713 sampai 1719, puppet of power. Farrukhsiyar was placed on the throne by the Sayyid brothers, who acted as kingmakers. While he officially ruled, the true power rested with these nobles, demonstrating the empire's transition from emperor-centered to minister-dominated governance. Farrukhsiyar attempted to assert independence, but conspiracies and internal rebellions prevented him from consolidating authority. His reign exposes the fragility of symbolic power. An emperor could command armies and issue decrees, but real control lay in the hands of the ambitious few behind the throne. In 1719, Farrukhsiyar was assassinated, continuing the cycle of short, turbulent reigns. His story underscores suspense, intrigue, and the dangerous consequences of ambition in a decaying court where loyalty was fleeting and life was fragile. King Bahadur Shah II, Bahadur Shah Zafar, 1837 to 1857, the last emperor centuries later. The Mughal Empire was reduced to a faded shadow of its former glory. Bahadur Shah Zafar, a poet and patron of the arts, ruled under the shadow of the British East India Company. His authority was largely symbolic, a relic of a once mighty dynasty. During the 1857 revolt, Zafar became a figurehead of resistance, embodying the empire's lingering prestige. However, he had no real military power, and the rebellion's failure led to his capture, exile to Rangoon, and death in 1858. His story represents the tragic cost of ambition without control, the weight of legacy, and the end of an era. Zafar's reign is poignant, a cultured, artistic soul trapped in a crumbling empire. It highlights suspense, tension, and the human struggle between hope, honor, and inevitability. Legacy lessons from decline. The post-Aurangzeb emperors demonstrate that empires crumble without capable leadership. Weak successors, ambitious nobles, regional rebellions, and external pressures fractured the Mughal Empire. The story is a human one. Ambition unchecked by wisdom leads to betrayal and decline. It foreshadows the rise of British colonial rule in India. The once mighty Mughal throne became a symbol of fragile authority, teaching timeless lessons about leadership, loyalty, and the consequences of power lost.